Dead Furby's back, ladies and gentlemen. He is on my new shelf with, of course, the fragrance collection along the top. Abu is here as well. I didn't see that until recently, but Abu is also here. I didn't realize. I should have probably mentioned him when I was mentioning Dead Furby. I hope they don't think I have favorites. I don't give a shit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Double O YouTube channel. I'm going to be talking about today, ladies and gentlemen, my top 3 favorite camps. 3 camps I'm going to be talking about today are scout camps. The second one is school camps, where, you know, the camps you did at school. And the third one, and the third one is going to be band camp. So yeah, those are the 3 I'll be talking about today. This one time at band camp, we'll probably start with the most boring story. This one time at school camp, there was a 4-hour police search for a kid who ran away. Basically how this whole thing started was we were doing this boring ass activity. It was the worst activity we were doing. It was like this team bonding thing. You know, it was one of those things where you had to like stand on a log and like order yourself from tallest to shortest without like falling off the log. It was something boring and stupid like that. And then like the instructor person got like a call on their radio like, hey, get all the kids, get all of them back to their dorms right now. Anyway, so I walk into the dorm and all my friends are there. They're all freaking out, panicking, going, oh my god, have you heard the news? Have you heard the news? And I'm just like very nonchalant, very cool at that age, you know, not anymore, but back then I was like, I don't know what's going on, boys. Please fill me in, whatever, you know. And they're like, this kid, I'm not gonna say his name, obviously. This kid is gone, he's ran away, you know. So when they tell me this, I have no reaction, to be honest. I'm like, okay. The reason why they're freaking out, I kind of understand, because, you know, this has never happened to them before, where someone's ran away at camp. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, 2 months before this camp, not even 2 months actually, maybe a month and a half before this camp, me, Connell, and this other kid, James, we had gone on a Scouts Easter camp a month and a half before this camp. And this kid who ran away had also been on that Scout camp. Not even that, ladies and gentlemen, he'd been sharing a room with Connell and James. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, during this Easter camp, this kid tried to run away around 4 times, okay? So, let me tell you, I was not shocked at all. But I will say, ladies and gentlemen, later on, I would retract my statement of not being shocked, because the time duration that he was gone compared to Easter camp was crazy. Because at this like Scout Easter camp, he wouldn't leave the vicinity of the campsite. He would say he was running away, get to the edge, and then an instructor would be like, boy, get back here. And then he would be like, okay, yeah, I'll go back. But he was gone for 4 hours. Yeah, this was a lot different, you know. There was helicopters going over, there was a lot of police interviewing people, you know, and this kind of affected the whole camp because, you know, a lot of people missed like the really good activities like the 3G swing and stuff because everyone had to like be on lockdown pretty much. My class actually missed one of the best activities, like evening activities, where you learn a bunch of the camp's like campfire songs, and you know, your teacher does like a special song or whatever. Our teacher was gonna rap about toast, but instead of around a campfire, he did it in like a gym hall, like during lockdown. So it was good, don't get me wrong, it was good, but I wish I got to see it in front of a campfire, is what I'm saying, with like the good setting, you know. But you know, at the end of the story, this kid did get found because word had spread across like the town we were in that he was missing, and like a description of him was out. So some old lady apparently found him. Yeah, pretty intense stuff for a school camp, I'd say. Another kind of crazy school story happened the year before. You know, I can say this now. It's been like 7-8 years. This was kind of messed up. Whoa, I know I'm crazy for saying this, but there was a sweet thief that went around. Basically, how this camp went was all the boys were in the main building and all the girls were in like these really nice cabins. I remember from the main building I was in, all of the boys in my dorm huddling around the window to see a bunch of the girls from our class watching MasterChef. I remember going up to one of them and being like, yo, tonight can you turn the subtitles on? Really appreciate it, you know? Because yeah, we had it rough, the boys, especially with what happened at the end of this camp. Every boy's dorm in the main building would get raided by like these random people who would like steal everyone's sweets, steal like money. And what they did to our dorm, I was wearing for the entire camp this cap that my dad gave me, and it was my dad's cap. I don't know where he got it, maybe Australia, I think that might have been it. And my friend had this favorite jumper, and all of our like favorite things all got put in the shower, and someone turned the shower on. Like, these raids were crazy, you know. It got really bad, you know, teachers were getting involved, you know, to really crack down on who's doing this, because it was rumored that it was just one group of boys doing it, and it got to the point where they were like, you should not be going into anyone else's dorms or anything. If you're caught in someone else's room, we will suspect it's you. And you know, that really sucked for me because, well, a lot of my friends were in other dorms, exams, so I couldn't see them anymore. But no one was ever caught for this act. So at the end of the camp, the teachers on the nights just before we left, they got all the boys from the main building down to like the central hub area. And they're like, boys, we're gonna sit here until one of you admits to being the sweet thief. And we're like, holy shit. So we did. Everyone just sat there for ages, you know? I think it was maybe an hour, okay, maybe that's an exaggeration. I think it was like maybe at most half an hour. I didn't have a watch on me. And I had this really funny idea later on where one of my friends actually came up to me and was like saying to our dorm, hey guys, what if I just say I'm the sweet thief and like everyone can just go back to being normal again, you know? What if I just do that, you know, sacrifice myself? And I only came to this like idea afterwards, but I just imagined like, what if he did that and then like someone else stood up and said, no, I'm the sweet thief, you know? And what if it was like kind of like a Spartacus moment there? That would have been sick. Anyway, yeah, the sweet thief was never caught, but ladies and gentlemen, I do have my suspicions, okay? There was one group of boys who were not in the main building, ladies and gentlemen, and there had been rumors that they had been seen in the main building carrying something, you know, walking around the windows. We talked to the teachers about it. They're like, those boys have not stepped foot in the main building. But you see, that was really stupid for them to say that because, you know, a lot of the meeting points were in the main building. So of course they have access to it. For those of you interested, they were in like a small cabin in like the campground. So yeah, I still think it was them. And one of those boys, ladies and gentlemen, was actually in my last video, but I won't say which one. I don't know, man. I've asked him a bunch of times and he always was like, nope, wasn't me. To be honest, if I was him, I'd be like, yeah, it's me. You know, nothing they can do about it now. So scout camps, these, ladies and gentlemen, were the best, okay? And when I talk about scout camps, okay, there's 3 types. There's Sea Scout camp, Easter camp, and summer camp, okay? And I only did Easter camp because I'm cool, that's why. My favorite Easter camp ever was the year before the kid was running away. I really wanted to find out where this place was to show some images. I like scoured my old Scouts Facebook page and it only goes back to like 2017 and this was in 2016. So ladies and gentlemen, I could not find any pictures of me there. However, I was looking online with like my old Scouts district name and I found like general meeting PDFs of what they'd talk about in general meetings, and I found where that scout camp was. So here are the pictures. I remember it being very beautiful and there was only 22 of us, so it felt like pretty intimate to be there. You know, I had a lot of my really great childhood friends there, and you know, I made a lot of really good new friends as well. I watched my first 15 there. We watched the Highlander, and you know, I was probably around 11, so that was crazy for me. You know, that guy was like butter sliding down that sword. That thing was crazy. We went on this massive like adventure to this dam. So me and my friends would always like come up with games and stuff. I was like, guys, we should try and sneak into the cool kids room. Let me tell you, this camp was divided, okay? There was the young kids, which was me and my friends. And then there was like the medium kids, no one cared about them. And then there was the cool kids who were like 4 years older than us. You know, and they'd have really good jokes. And you know, just hang out and, you know, be cool. All of my friends were like, no, and I'm way too scared. Getting into this room was kind of like trying to get into a club, except the bouncer hates you and the club is closed and it's not even a club, it's just a brick wall, you know? It was impossible for me to get in. I tried the friendly approach of, hi guys, can I come in? They weren't taking any of it though. They were like, no, Owen, you're too young for these conversations. So I devised a plan, okay? You know, the doors to these dorms were pretty big and you could get at least 2 people in there at a time through one of these doors. So I waited until there was like a gathering of us all like for a meal. And then I waited for the perfect time to like sneak in with someone. And it worked, you know, I just snuck in. You know, maybe one of them saw me and was like, you know, I don't care. This kid has spirit. And I remember sitting on one of the beds and just hearing all the good stories, hearing all the gossip. So, you know, I was having a great time until, ladies and gentlemen, I made a fatal mistake. And I make accidental eye contact with some loser little... He had no good chat, no jokes, no good stories. He made eye contact with me and was like, oh, child. They actually walked me out. Actually, I remember. They're like, come on, kid, gotta go. I'm like, okay. Personally, I think it was a success for me because, you know, in that 20 minutes, I learned so much about life. A lot about, like, what high school was like and stuff like that. So, yeah, I learned a lot from just listening to their stories and whatnot. Scout Easter Camp 2016, best camp ever. Now, this one time at band camp, I'm kidding, okay? Nothing actually happened at band camp, not gonna lie. This was like a school camp kind of thing, but yeah, nothing really... I don't want to say of interest because I had a great time, but actually, you know what? No. I will say one thing about band camp. The Queen, or I guess the royal family, ruined band camp, ladies and gentlemen, because they decided to have the Queen's funeral on the last day of band camp. So band camp had to get cut a day short. They should have called me, you know. That's all I'm saying. Royal family, message me on Instagram. and I'll get back to you to see if it fits my dates, okay? Just, I'd really appreciate it next time. But my friend Hugo, he was at this band camp as well, so we always make the joke that, you know, this one time at band camp,